Today I'm going to show you how to make a butterfly out of clay. First, the tools and supplies at your table. You will be getting a slab of clay that looks like this. It's a flattened piece of clay. It's on top of a piece of cloth called canvas. This is your placemat, so keep the clay on it. Do not poke at your clay. If you poke it, I can't unpoke it, and you end up having a finger mark in your project. Over here, we have some tools such as toothbrushes, pens, pointy sticks to cut with, toothpicks, opened paper clips, popsicle sticks. Here we have a small container of water in case we need to smooth the clay out. We have slip, which is a mixture of clay and water. It's used to help glue pieces of clay together. And this is a container that will hold extra clay if you have any left over when you're done. For your butterfly, you have a choice of 3 different tracers. There's this shape for a butterfly, there's this one, and this one. It's up to you which one you decide to use. I'm going to use this one for this demonstration. I'm going to lay it down on my slab. Now it doesn't fit perfectly. Sometimes edges might hang off a little bit. If I turn my clay placemat and turn my tracer, I might find a better way to lay it. But I think it fits best like this. That's pretty close. So once I lay it on there, I don't have to press it really hard, but this is going to be my guide for cutting out my butterfly shape. I'm going to cut with the tool that looks like this, although you could cut with the paper clip, but I find sometimes it might be a little bit hard for you to handle. So I recommend this one, and you want the pointy end sticking into the clay. And you can see that I have it standing up. That means that it is actually poked all the way through the clay and it's touching the table because I want to cut this shape out. So I have to make sure my tool is cutting through the clay. So I'm not going to be holding it like a pencil. I'm going to hold it so that it stays standing up like a soldier. And I'm starting at the top and I am dragging my tool and I can actually feel it touching the table. I know that I'm cutting through because I can see that I'm taking this clay away. There's a little bit of clay on the tip of my tool. I can take that off and then continue my cutting here and then here. You can actually hear it touching the placemat when I'm cutting. I'm saving these little pieces that get on my tool because I can use that clay for decoration later. Almost done. Usually it's easiest if you pull the tool towards you. Instead of me cutting up, I'm going to start up here and pull the tool down towards my body. Now I move these aside and I take my tracer off. There is my butterfly shape. Now I can put this to the side. I can take a tiny bit of water on my finger, 1 finger, and just smooth the edge a little bit if it looks a little rough. I don't want to add a lot of water because if it's too much water, the clay will actually turn muddy, and I don't want that. I'll lose my shape if it gets muddy. That's all I need, just a tiny bit. Now, I'll take all of this clay and push it together, and I want to really squeeze it a couple times to get it nice and tight. And I can roll it a little bit in my hands, or I can roll it a little bit on the table so that I have a sphere. And I'm going to take a popsicle stick. I'm not holding it like this. I'm holding it like this so I can cut my sphere in half. So half of this is going to become the butterfly's body, and the other half will help me make some decorations. So now I'll take this one and I'm going to start to roll it like a log. This is a butterfly body. And I don't have to make it super skinny. I just have to make it long enough to fit in here. So I can use this as a guide. Just like that. That looks pretty good. Get the shape how I like it. Up here will be the head. Now, before I stick these together, I have to add that glue. So I'm taking a toothbrush with a little bit of that slip on it, and I'm actually gently scratching right here. And you can see that the slip is on there very thin. And then I want to do that on this too, right here. And that is going to turn over to touch that. So that slip and that slip are going to be sandwiched together, just like that. And then I gently press it into place. Now I know, because I used that slip, that that body is not going to fall off of the butterfly later. It's nice and stuck. And I can actually take a tool like this one or a toothpick, and I can poke to make eyes, or I can make eyes out of my extra clay. So I think I'd like to do that. Let me show you that. I'll take a little bit off and make a little sphere, about like that. And then if I cut it in half, now I have two eyes that I can put on there, but I do have to do the glue. So I'm going to put a little bit of that up here where the eyes are going to go before I stick them on. Just a little bit. You don't want a whole bunch. Again, it'll get muddy. Push those together. You can see the eyes. Then I could take a tool and push down in there and twist to release. Push down, twist, and release. And there are my eyes. Then for the wings, we can start to make some decorations. I mean, you'll have a resource at your table that shows you some different butterfly wing designs. Notice that the design on one side is the same as the design on the other side. So you can try to make them the same if you'd like to. And you can do a combination of using clay to add on and drawing lines on your butterfly. If you choose to draw some lines, you're going to be using the pen. When you're drawing the decorations, you don't want to cut through the butterfly. We don't want to cut into it like we did when we were cutting the outside shape. We are drawing lines with the pen, so we're not going very deep at all. So if I'd like to put a line here that shows where my two wings come together, I can do that. And notice I get clay on the tip of my tool. I can just pull it off. I can draw a smile on my butterfly if I'd like to, right up there by the eyes. I can draw curves and lines. And when I do one side, I do the other side, so I can try to make them match. Take your time and do your best. Maybe I'd like a line up here too. You can decorate the wings however you'd like. If you use this to make decorations, you could, for example, take a little bit, roll it into a ball in your fingers, shape it like a ball, cut it in half with your popsicle stick, and then you can put some glue on both parts, stick that down, and on this one, glue here and glue here so that they match. And I could leave it rounded like that, or I can use my thumb to press it down into a flattened circle, and that can be part of my design. So you can continue on and use the rest of the clay that you have to make your decorations. Use it all up. Don't forget to use the slip. Putting it on the flat part of my cut sphere. Maybe on that one, I'll leave it round. Maybe I'd like to press a circle into it. Push down, twist and release. Push down, twist and release. I could add a coil too. Let me show you that. I'll do one more decoration. If I roll this into kind of a ball and then a log, And I can roll it on the table too. I can cut it in half because I want one for each side. Okay. Let's say I want to put that right there. So I'll take my glue, put it there, there, put a little bit of this on and stick it together. And a little bit over here, stick it together. And I can push it down just a little bit, make sure it's on there nice. Now I'm all out of my extra clay, but I can continue to draw with my tool so I can add more decorations until I'm out of time.
Good morning, Gators. All car duty personnel, please go to the car loop at this time.
And there is a finished butterfly.